let's say St. Peter's at St. Peter's Gate. He's like, 2 Bitcoin to get in, pal. You're like, I got it. I got you covered. What's your wallet, St. Pete? Hey, let me zap that over the Lightning Network. Let me in those pearly gates. I'm in heaven now. There's Satoshi waiting for me in heaven now. You see, that's what you need. That's what you get.
I feel a little bit of a loss here because I don't think I've done as many psychedelic drugs as you have, Max.
Really?
I've done none.
You're a comedian. You've been to Vegas. I thought everyone who's been a comedian in Vegas basically wall-to-wall psychedelic drugs.
All I did in Vegas is I got drunk and married a stripper. I just did the standard sort of.
I love that story. It's so Vegas.
It is the most Vegas thing you could ever do.
Viva! Terrence Graham marrying a stripper.
I was hosting a TV show at the time called Strip Poker. And so I went to a strip club and married a stripper. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful moment.
Great. Great Americana story. Right? It's like, they don't do that in freaking Moscow. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. You ever marry a stripper in North Korea? No. You get it. Eat it. USA.
No, exactly. This is what it's all about. And, Elvis is in heaven. And you can meet Elvis, the real Elvis in heaven once you pay your 2 Bitcoin to coin. The guy who created it is a notorious shitcoiner who lives in the world of shitcoinery. And so that's not, you're just proving the point that this is all shitcoinery and this is just another shitcoin.
This is the thing I love. And this is where the internet gets dumb.
Yeah.
Is then it's so easy to go. Someone will see, Max Keiser had his own coin.
Yeah.
You can just go online really quickly. In about 7 minutes, I can go, oh yeah, he did it on his show and explains everything you just said. But most people just go, he's full of it. We caught him. And it's like, no, you did not.
Well, I mean, at the time, Kanye, there was Kanye coin.
Right.
There was Bill Murray coin. And because I think this was 2013 or 2014, when shitcoins were a real novelty, and the danger of them was not as obvious as it started to become. And what started to become more obvious as you went into the 2016 period, 2017 period, and what were called the ICOs, the initial coin offerings. And so as a stockbroker, former stockbroker myself, you see it in the stock market, of course, over and over again. You see the penny stock market. You see in the Canadian mining, Canadian miners, gold and silver miners are notorious for starting companies based on 2 guys standing around a hole in the ground saying they just discovered 1 million ounces of silver. And then they go public and they cash out and then they're gone and you never hear from them again. That goes on over and over and over again. So it's exactly the same thing with shitcoins. It's just like this is what we do at the Bitcoin office, is to stop big shitcoiners from coming into El Salvador, because what they do is they end up taking a photo with somebody in the government. It could be like a guy whose job it is to, wash the mining equipment or something for the government. Anybody, but they have like a government seal on their uniform. They could be like the trash collector in San Benito, but they're government employees maybe, and they have like a seal of the government. So some shitcoiner stands with them and says, the government loves this shitcoin. And there's a guy smiling with a broom, that guy who's making all the noise. You could be just smiling and just like, ha, 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 ha. And so they put that on the internet, and then suddenly something that's worth nothing, it's worth 0.00000 just if you register with Swan. And why not register with Swan? They're the greatest Bitcoin company, only company in the world is Swan Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Orange Pill is the promo code. You get $10 free Bitcoin. What could be better than that?
I'm gonna see if we can bring that up. Yeah, and Corey's awesome. I've met Corey. I've interviewed him actually on the show. And let me just bring up the web. There it is, right there. Yeah. Take the orange pill. So if you just go to swan.com/orange pill, you get they're a Bitcoin only exchange. It's the thing about Swan, Bitcoin only.
Yeah, so Bitcoin only company, you can buy Bitcoin there, and they promote you to take self-custody.
Yes.
So you can exchange your dirty fiat money for Bitcoin at swan.com, and then you can take it off their site and put it into a wallet of your choosing, self-custody.
They even have a Swan IRA, so if you need that, which is a good feature if your accountant is saying.
Some of them, that we've been repelled. One of the ADA is Cardano. Okay, so Cardano was, unceremoniously tossed out of the country at one point because the shitcoining is effectively illegal. The way it works is that Bitcoin is money and everything else is an unregistered security. So if you're not willing to register with the commission to register whatever it is you're doing as a security, then you can't trade it, right? It can't be traded on any exchange because then it's an unregistered security. And even though even that process needs scrutiny. So the Bitcoin office is also, as it says, it's overlording or overseeing. I forget how I phrase it. Really, the Decree 49 is essentially
you're enforcing it.
Well, we have autonomy. The Bitcoin actively pursued an agenda to keep them out. We have a lot of high-level famous people who wanted to come here, but they were associated with scam coins. So we said, no, stay away. Fuck you.
Someone in the chat brought up Tether. And they're like, isn't Tether an altcoin or isn't Tether a shit coin? And why is Max pushing Tether or whatever? So explain that.
Right. Tether is a virtual dollar, right? It doesn't compete with Bitcoin. It's not a Bitcoin competitor to Bitcoin. It's essentially a competitor to the dollar, the US dollar. It's a digital version of the US dollar.
The stable coin.
Yeah, it's a stable coin. Right. And it's a virtual dollar that people use when they're in the digital space and trading in and out of digital securities. They can trade in and out of a tethered dollar as a surrogate, that because things tend to be priced in dollars around the world, so you're familiar with that pricing, things tend to be priced in dollars. So if you want to trade in and around the digital universe and you want to be in quote unquote dollars for accounting purposes, but you don't want to own actual US dollars, you want to surrogate a virtual US dollar, they're not included in the Bitcoin law at all. It's a separate, they're given a separate designation, entirely separate in El Salvador and treated completely separate. They're not treated in the same law where you find Bitcoin legislation on Bitcoin.
And they're not looked at like the shit coins either, the stable coins. They're
right. The shit coins are in the Bitcoin law says that anything that's not Bitcoin needs to be registered as a security. Now, okay, so that's the law. And so that takes care of Bitcoin and shit coins. If you're a shit coiner, you have to register as a security and if to trade it. I mean, people can show up with a hard, with some like Binance coin on a drive or whatever, we're not going to get arrested for that. We can't trade it anywhere. You can't trade it on an exchange because this would be an unregistered security. But with Tether, it's the first of its kind. I was there during the birth of Tether. I was part of the advisory group when they invented Tether. And
you're the Forrest Gump of finance and Bitcoin. You've been
in every pair of shoes we sell, but we're going to make it up on volume. Right? That's Circle. They lose money on every trade they do, but they think they're going to make it up on volume, right? This guy, Jeremy Allaire, is like a complete dum-dum. So
how do these guys get these jobs? This is the thing that's just mind-boggling to me. I see these people come to these big positions of power with these big companies with these, 8, 9, 10 figures in assets or more. Yeah. And they're idiots, and they're presented to the average American person as like, oh, they're the CEO. They have this special skill, and there's this oracle. Are they just rich kids? Their dad just puts them in these positions. Like, how's this guy who's so dumb has a business model that's failing? Yeah, how does he get into this position?
Well, in the finance industry, the relationship between the Federal Reserve Bank and Wall Street and the finance industry is one of mutual destruction, where in order for the Fed to get away